set the manual mode, the first thing you want to do is go to the mode dial and set this to M. This is the manual mode, and what this mode allows you to do is manually control both the shutter speed and the aperture simultaneously. So now, for example, the shutter speed field is highlighted, and I can use the main dial to change this setting. If I want to change the aperture setting, I just hold down the AV button right here, and then roll the dial to change the aperture setting. Once I release the button, the highlighted field goes back to shutter speed. All the other settings, for example ISO and white balance, are just as they would be in any of the other creative modes. Meaning, if I press the ISO button up top, I still have access to auto ISO. Same thing with white balance. If I press the WB button, I still have access to auto white balance, even though I'm in the manual mode. However, the only thing that's different is the exposure compensation. Because I'm in the manual mode and I'm controlling both the shutter speed and the aperture, exposure compensation is not an option. Instead of exposure compensation, if I press the quick menu button, you'll see that now I'm controlling the auto exposure bracketing. Auto exposure bracketing allows me, with the use of the main dial, to tell the camera I want to take 3 pictures, each picture at a different exposure. So this is great when you're not quite sure what the proper exposure should be, or if you're doing, for example, an HDR image and you want to take 3 images, the same exact images, each at a different exposure. You also have access to the auto exposure bracketing function using any of the other creative modes. You don't necessarily have to use the manual mode to access this function.